Hi guys, as you can see, I'm not today wearing any makeup, and there's a reason for that because we're going to be testing out a new foundation and putting that through the strides of my day. The Essence foundation that we're going to be testing today is the Camouflage 2-in-1 makeup and concealer, which looks like this. I got it in the shade 30 Honey, and we're going to be testing this out throughout my day to see how well this foundation performs. But first of all, let's see what they tell you about the foundation on the website in order to know how it's performing. They say that basically this is a long-lasting foundation, it has high coverage, it has flawless finish and it's matte, and also it has no mask effect. And they say on the package and on their website that it can be used as a foundation and a concealer. I immediately see one con with this foundation already, is that it only comes in 3 shades. And I was like, 3 shades, Essence? Really? You got to be kidding me. 3 shades? Really? Girl, bring out fucking 12 or something like that. Or 20. So anyways, I got mine in the shade 30 Honey Beige. There is also 10 Ivory Beige, which was like extremely light. And then we have 20 Nude Beige, which was also just a tad bit sort of lighter than this one. But still, not a good shade range at all. But it's really, really inexpensive. It only cost $4.43 US. That's all I paid for it. And clearly I do love Essence product. I really like their Stay All Day 16-hour foundation. I love their matte bronzing powder. Clearly we can see this one is well loved. It's totally broken, but still I keep on using it even though it's so broken. This is like the most amazing bronzing powder I have ever tried. If you are looking for a new one, I highly recommend this one. I love the Grammy Goes to Glammy eyeshadow as a highlight. I love their satin blush. I love their Make Me Brow Duo. So as you can see, I'm an Essence whore, but still that's not going to affect my look and view on this product here. So without further ado, let's get into testing the product. So I have already moisturized and primed my face, and on this side we're going to be using the Beauty Blender, and on that side we're going to be using a brush, because on the website it doesn't say how you're supposed to apply this, so I guess you can go either way, but we're gonna see what works the best. So let's just try this out. Right off the bat, this looks so light for me. So light. But perhaps we can bronze that up a little bit later, but right off the bat this looks very light. I kind of hope that this one oxidizes a little bit to make it sort of the right shade. And I don't know how much you're supposed to use because it doesn't say that either on the website. Actually, there's not a lot of information on the website, but let's just try with this amount and blend that in to see how that works. Yeah, actually this is not too bad, and I hope it oxidizes a little bit, but we can work with this. Right off the bat, that gave really good coverage. I would say that this is a round with 1 layer. Keep in mind, I would say a medium coverage, not full coverage. So I don't know that this can be used as a concealer very effectively, but it's a good foundation so far in regards to the medium coverage. Actually, I feel like it's sort of the same coverage as the Stay All Day 16-hour foundation. Kind of the same coverage as my L'Oreal Infallible too. So let's try on the brush side to see how that works out. Oh, okay. So it does oxidize. Having been out in the air, you can see this one is a lot darker than the one that just came out of the tube. So that already oxidized a little bit. So perhaps that's why they don't have that much of a broad shade range, because the ones they do have, they oxidize a little bit, so they will cover a broader shade range. So we're going to see how it's going on with a brush. Yeah, so that's already giving way more coverage. It's not going in as easily with a brush. I have to work a little bit harder to get the product to actually go into my skin. But clearly, this shade is too light for me. You can see that clearly on my face. I hope this oxidizes even further to an even darker shade. That would be great to have that oxidize a little bit. Otherwise we'll just bronze it up and make it work. So right off the bat, I do like the Beauty Blender side better. It just looks a little bit more seamless, I think. So I'm going to be going over again with Beauty Blender. just to sort of smooth out everything. So I say one layer is around the coverage that I need, and I would not be applying 2 layers because I think it covered pretty much everything, so I don't think I need another layer. And also it's very light, so I don't know about another layer. But let's use the rest I have as a concealer. As you can see, I've got some places that needs to be concealed. So we can see how that it looks when you're using it as a concealer. Like that. Of course, we're going to be using the Beauty Blender to blend that in. There is one obvious drawback to using your foundation as a concealer. You won't have much of a brightening effect under your eye because it's basically going to be the same color as the rest of your face. So that's one obvious drawback to using a foundation as a concealer. I will say that it is buildable. I can see here that it is buildable, so you can build it up to a little bit more coverage if it's that you really want to do. So after just having blended that in, I would say that that gives sort of a satin finish, which I think is a very beautiful finish. I'm not gonna lie, I like this finish a lot. So I just think I'm gonna leave it like this actually. Just not blend any powder in. I will say that it did not really do a lot for my pores. It really didn't diminish them, blur them, anything, fill them in. It didn't do that at all. So I'm happy that I used my Rimmel Stay Matte Primer, which is in turn also a pore filler. But I'm gonna be doing the rest of my makeup and then I'm gonna be right back. So now I have done the rest of my makeup and I'm gonna say that it looks very matte. So I would definitely not set this one with a powder. And there can be a reason for that because I've looked behind on the ingredients list and talc as an ingredient was pretty high on the list, which means that naturally it will be very oil absorbing. So that can be very great for someone with oily skin, just as like myself. But I'm gonna be wearing this foundation. Right now it's 2 o'clock and I'm gonna be wearing it for at least till tonight. And then I'm gonna be checking back in with you to see if the foundation held up and if I still like it by the end of the night. So far I will say that it's looking a little bit drying and it's a little bit too light for me. But otherwise I do like the finish. I would not say if you have dry skin so far, I would not say that this is the foundation for you. And if you have very, very large pores, because it doesn't really do anything for that. But if you have light skin and no problem with pores, I do think it provides a good coverage. And if you have oily skin also, this can be a good option for you so far. But let's see how this foundation holds up, and I will be back with you in a few hours. So I am ready guys with my final update, and it has been 8.5 hours that I've been wearing this foundation from Essence. And I will say I have a few thoughts on this. As a concealer, it really surprised me. It has not settled in my lines at all. It is fully still opaque on my eyes and it's looking really good in that sense. I will say, it said that it was very mattifying. I am getting just a little bit dewy, but nothing that's totally unmanageable. I could totally take some like finishing powder, some translucent powder, and just dot that all over my face and it would be totally fine. But it's still hanging in there. It's still looking really great. It has no mask effect. It still has the coverage. It has worn off a little bit here on my nose. But nothing much really after 8.5 hours. So you could totally go to work, wear this, and come home and still look great and still look very mattified. And for the price, I do think that that's a really, really good foundation. So I would have to say that this Essence Camouflage Makeup and Concealer is approved by me, so I'm definitely gonna be wearing this one again. The only con I will say is again the shade range, because this one is still too light for me. It did oxidize a little bit, as you can see, and it's sort of matching my neck right now, but that was after I bronzed it up. And later in the week I'm gonna be testing the Milani Luminoso blush, and I'm also going to be testing the Better Skin powder from Maybelline, so stay tuned for that. And I hope that my parcel with the full coverage makeup cover foundation from Dermacol will be arriving anytime soon. I've been texting the company back and forth and they're just like not giving in. So we'll see about that, but these two will definitely be coming up, and I look forward to seeing you again later in the week. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Have fun.